What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh? I know Kung Fu. Show me.
I'm a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains.
It's the Al Travis Show. We have Miss Nesse, Alysen Nesse, on the program with us, and I'm glad to have her. You're muted. There you go. Alysen, I don't think it's a stretch. You tell me if I'm mischaracterizing, but I think you lean a little left.
I do lean a little left. Yeah.
All right, so not a shocker for anybody here. We love having her on. And I'm really happy to have you on because I'm hoping by the time I'm done, you and I will be in 100% agreement on this topic that I think is the topic of the day. Mm-hmm. First off, people will be talking all day long and talk great about Governor Walz coming out and throwing a fit that it's Trump, it's Republicans, you're not helping. If you want to help, come here. He did his thing.
Yep.
Same time today, when we have 3 representatives in Washington discussing over the oversight committee, and they're going to rip everything's on Walz. And okay,
yeah.
Politicians going to politic, right? That's what these people do.
You're talking about politics. Yep.
Yeah, and the problem with it is that will be what everyone talks about. That's what Fox News is going to have at 5, 6, and 10, and Waters and whatever else they still got on. That's going to be the talking points. That'll probably be what the Star Trib covers. Fine. But that's not the story today in my book. When the story today in my book, this is what I'll hit you up on. The Office of Legislative Auditor, the OLA.
Yep. Yeah,
had their meeting yesterday, their committee meeting, their here's our findings meeting yesterday, and that ends up on like page 2 at the bottom of the paper. And when I ended up reading it, my blood pressure hasn't gone down. I am so mad that it's unconscionable. Let me throw you one. Mm-hmm. One of the things they found, a DHS grant manager authorized a 1-month payment of $672,000 for a 1 month of something. The invoice didn't say what it was. It was just $672,000 worth of something. That would make me mad to begin with. Then the story gets better. A couple of days later, this grant manager quit DHS and went to work for that company as a consultant. Yeah. I'm sorry. Don't know. I'm going to use the name. I don't know Bob, but I'm sorry, Bob. I want to see your taxes as soon as you get those done, and how much money you made out of $672,000. And I'm sorry, this sounds criminal to me. Am I wrong, or are we just going? Well, Bob got lucky. It was, no.
So, for the first half of my career, I worked in compliance and grant management for government. Really? For the federal government and for the city of Minneapolis.
Wait a minute. I want to do this real quick. Al Travis gets great guests on with perfect resumes to discuss the topic of the day. I did not know that. I'm so happy you're here. I'm better than I knew. I'm glad you're on.
So I watched the hearing yesterday as well. And as somebody who worked in compliance and oversight and, looking at internal controls and all these things that that are pretty standard, it's important. And
you're with me. Good.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, okay. There isn't. And here's the thing: everything that with Walz, with the congressional hearing today, that is politics. People that work at agencies, they're not politicos. They are like, they don't go to work at DHS because they love the Democratic Party and the Democrat is in office.
Well, what makes this kind of, I'm going to say fraud? If you work for DHS, you work for Al and Alysen, you work for us, and whether the $670,000 was legit, right? And I'm not even saying we know if it's legit.
Yeah.
You to go work for the person you wrote the check to 2 days later.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, it does smell. I certainly wouldn't do that. And
because you're a good person.
There should probably be a policy against working for a grantee of the government that you
not a policy. Yeah. Policies break. It needs to be a flipping law.
Well, yeah, a law.
Go to jail. Because here, let's go through others. Staff, evidently behavioral health staff, could not demonstrate they conducted 27 out of 67
Yeah.
grantee meetings. Okay, couldn't prove it. You didn't write the paperwork out. Bad. But a majority of the visits were conducted remotely. They picked up the phone and called. Isn't this the whole thing? And you can hate the kid with the camera that did the thing, and you can hate him.
Yep.
But there's a point that if you're calling the daycare and saying, "Do you have 100 a day?" "Oh yeah, we do." "Oh, okay then." That cannot be the way we run things. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was shocked. I used to conduct site visits. You actually physically go to the organization. You pull files at random. You look for you have a checklist of certain things that you're looking for to make sure each client file has that documentation in the file. So, and yeah, it's
see, you're with me, and I love this. I love the fact you did this for a living because you understand. Supposedly there's paperwork for all this. And here's the one that should send people off the charts. And this is quoted in the paper, so I'm not making this up. They went out and were doing the audit, and they found not one, but a few people in this organization made the documents up after they asked for them and then backdated others.
It's ridiculous. That's just sloppy. That's sloppy, and that's.
Let's go down. I want to go down this because this is what kills me. While it isn't necessarily a violation of state law, it undermines what the auditor can do. That was her statement.
Yes.
How is this not illegal? You and I are going to do our taxes this month to get them in and get our refund as soon as possible. You mess up. You don't put a receipt down. You do something. They come after you and say, "Listen, what the heck are you doing? You owe us another $100.
Yeah.
Want to go to jail?" And I'm going to panic. I'm going to spend 8 hours getting my taxes together to prove that I'm just Mr. Nice Guy and hope to God I don't screw up. And they made false paperwork? And that's not illegal? Can't be possible.
I don't disagree. I got nothing.
The stuff you did, though, when you were doing that, didn't you think it was illegal? I thought it was illegal. I'm a crazy man.
Well, I never would have made up paperwork after the fact, so I wouldn't even cross my mind.
Because you think it's illegal. You think it's illegal. Everyone believes that's illegal. If the IRS comes after me, Al, Minnesota's they come out, "Al, you didn't have a receipt for this, so I made one up." I gotta believe I'm doing something illegal. That's normal people conversation. That's normal thought.
That is true. I mean, I the only time I can think, I used to manage a program for federal HUD dollars, and I took it over from someone who was a really inadequate program manager, and I went through each file, and I had I knew what needed to be in each, and when that information was missing, I went directly to the grantee to get that information, to clean up the files. But I wasn't fabricating anything or doing it quote after the fact.
Well, let's go down this line because now we're going to get the politics of all this, right? This comes out, and this report, I mean, there's another half dozen things you can read that'll make you mad. But let's go down this. The gal from DHS, the current head, she's interim head or whatever, she gets up and she says, "I'm totally shocked that this happened. This is unbelievable." I would probably break a half a dozen laws if I was in charge, but I would have walked up to that person. I would have made a phone call, said, "You're done. You're fired. What are you talking?" And, to everyone, I would have fired him instantly. Now, maybe there's some state law that guarantees I can't, but I'd fire him the next minute, right? I mean, the idea that she was up there saying, "I'm shocked this has happened." Shouldn't we have a list of firings by the end of the day?
I mean,
I know that's hard. But
that's hard for me to.
I know it is.
Because things are more complicated legally than that. But yeah, it's unacceptable. The buck stops with leadership.
Okay, and now this is where I want to go with that. So if they hadn't falsified the paperwork, right? Let's say there's missing this and they're missing that. The AOL comes out and says, "Hey, you didn't have these paperwork." I would still be discussing, saying that sucks, put the paperwork in. However, the answer would be from management, "You know what? There's so much money going out there. We don't have enough staff to take the time to put all the paperwork in. It's a miss." Not a great answer, but now you say we need more money. And I'm like, okay, now you and I can have that argument. But the fact that they had the time to create the paperwork after the fact means they had the time beforehand. It wasn't a time thing. It took the same amount of time to make the fake one as it would have done the right one. that argument is gone. I don't know what the argument is now. Can you give me anything? I don't get it.
I don't either. I mean, I know DHS is incredibly understaffed and overwhelmed, but I can't. It's inexcusable. I really don't have anything for you. Do your job.
See, you and I are in the same spot now. If that little note is this may not be illegal in Minnesota, can you and I agree that day one of the next legislative session, the Democrats and Republicans get together and you pass a law? And you pass a law that says you don't get to falsify anything if you work for us. Guess what? You work for me. I'm paying your check. Is that terribly easy to do?
I think that could be done bipartisan. Yep. I think
there got to be enough of us. Okay, I got to go to break. I thank you for listening to me whine. But in reality, everything we talked about, you and I completely agree on.
Yeah.
It's not cool. And maybe DHS needs more employees to do the paperwork, but they're not. Half of the visits they did were remote. What God green earth are you talking about, remote? Mm-hmm. It's like, I use this all the time real quick before I go to my barber. She gets visited, on once a year or every other year, whatever, to make sure the comb's in the blue stuff, right? So it's clean or whatever. And it's just, they show up and she does it. Mm-hmm. We can't do that for kids with autism. We can't do that to see the I mean, I don't know. And Blue Earth is much smaller than you big city folks. I get it. But can't the same person who checks the barber as she's winging by check the autism center if we have one here in Blue Earth? This could be done if we wanted it. We don't. I got to go to break. We got more. Alysen Nesse on the Al Travis Show.
You need a friend at the Capitol who knows how to get things done.
And you're in luck, because that's exactly who we are, your friends at the Capitol, and we deliver results.
At Momentum Advocacy, we bring decades of experience in lobbying, public affairs, and crisis communications.
From local nonprofits to national corporations, we help you move policy, manage your media, and make your voice heard.
We're not just seasoned pros, we're essential partners.
Momentum Advocacy, your friends at the Capitol. Learn more at momentum-advocacy.com.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
I'm grateful to guests I get on. I can't believe how good they are. Alysen Nesse. And all of a sudden we're talking about this, and I used to be a comptroller. I know all about it. trip on good luck, I guess. We can talk about all the congressional hearings, walls, and all that, and that'd be fun, yada yada. But it's not. It'll be here forever. We're not going to get rid of this anytime soon. So what I'd rather do is ask you, with Walz now getting out of the governor's race, how much that shakes up the world. Are you, like evidently everybody I read, it's Amy Klobuchar's, Senator Klobuchar's, to go after if she wants it, right? Because she gets in, I read no one else will get in. And if she doesn't, then the world shakes up, right? I mean, then all of a sudden, who knows what's going on? What are your thoughts? Is she going to get in? Am I right with that analysis?
Yeah, I think she is very interested, and I think, in the next week or two, we'll know if she's for sure or not.
Okay, but week or two, and maybe it doesn't matter much, but if she gets in, everyone's kind of staving off, waiting to see what Amy does.
Absolutely.
We're tight, Amy. I call her Aim, the old Aimster on Aim. Senator Klobuchar, they're waiting for her, but aren't we like 28 days from caucuses or something? Wouldn't it be, if you're not going to get in, you may want to bring it up in case somebody else does? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, precinct caucuses are February 3rd. So if she declines to jump in, then it will be a scramble, because there's lots of people who have been in office for a long time who want to run for governor, but they would not run against her.
Well, which makes sense. I mean, I don't even think the Republicans want to run against her, but the point being is that how much time does she have to make that call?
About a week.
Is that so it doesn't? Yeah. Okay. So does that? Okay. Inside baseball. Yeah. Evidently, her and Governor Walz talked on Sunday when he jumped out on Monday. So if he jumps out on Monday and Monday afternoon she says, I'm in, it would almost look contrived. Not saying anything would be contrived in politics.
No.
So is a week the right amount of time to say, once he came out, my husband and I chatted, and is that the appropriate time?
I think so. And to be fair, she had just been thinking about this since last summer. So, yeah, this is not like in the last week, she said,
Now, what about conspiracy theories from the right? And I'll throw two of them. You tell me. First one, and I bought into this for a second until I found the second one. So Amy Klobuchar comes in and wins because everybody loves on Amy. She wins the governorship. Her Senate seat is open. Her and the governor are obviously close. They were getting together on Sunday. She goes, Governor, do me a favor. I think you were pushed out for bad reasons. Take my Senate seat for a couple of years. Is that something that it could happen, but do you think there's any weight to that one?
I mean, I think Democrats definitely learned their lesson with Wendy Anderson and Rudy Perpich. And the only people that have brought that up to me are Republicans, because that would be really great for you guys.
Well, it would be bad for us for a while, but then it would make that seat highly contentious 2 years from now. But
it would, and I think Amy is very interested in keeping Minnesota's Senate representation in the hands of women.
And yes, okay. So here's the next one, and this is one I really want to throw at you. So we've got the governor out. Amy comes in. She knows she's going to win. You have Lieutenant Governor Flanagan and Craig running for that same Senate seat currently.
Yep.
One of them gets the nod. Okay, that's your seat. Don't worry about it. I will appoint the other. I'm insert name here to my Senate seat, which gives you the three ladies all run to the governor and the two Senate seats. Does that sound possible to you?
Sounds great to me.
Okay, so that isn't a crazy dream. That isn't another one of the Republican things. This is something that, you look at that. That's a smooth move on her part.
I don't think that that's crazy. I think because both Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, who's won statewide, been on the statewide ticket 2 times, and congressional Congresswoman Craig are two of the best of our party. And frankly, they represent very different sides of our party. They're very, one's more
middle,
progressive,
right?
one's middle. And,
With my last minute, if I can, this is a Republican attacking you, Alysen. How come the lieutenant governor doesn't seem to be getting any mud on her shoes in this fraud thing? I mean, obviously, it's all over the governor. It's all over the commission heads. If he had won the vice presidency, she'd be the governor. I presume she's in on the meetings getting, up to speed in case she had become the governor. How come she's been able to get by so far relatively unscathed?
Because I think people understand the role of the lieutenant governor, which is very symbolic. It is not a
then isn't the argument, why should she be a senator if she just sat around cutting ribbons and kissing babies and was symbolic for the last 8 years? You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like perfect experience for the Senate.
Alysen?
Yeah.
I love having you on the program. I'm out of time, but I love you here. Thank you. Thank you for playing along today. It's a weird day of news, and I took the second page news. It is, but you handle it, and I appreciate you. I really do.
I appreciate you, too. Thank you very much.
Alysen Nesse on the Al Travis Show.
Yeah. Bye.